How's it going, guys? Raj here. I hope all of you are well. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about 5 fragrances that for me are 10 out of 10. These are perfection. These are some of the best fragrances that I have tried. And what is perfect? You know, it's something that you feel that maybe cannot be improved on. You think maybe from a scent perspective or a conceptual perspective, they can't really be improved on. And you know what, everyone's perception of what perfection is will vary greatly. So I have got 5 fragrances here, and 4 of them I have reviewed, and I will leave the links down below to those reviews if you want to go back and check them out. One of them I haven't reviewed yet, and I'll mention which one it is, but kind of a sneak preview. I think it's a 10 out of 10 fragrance. So I'm going to go back to the start and go back to 2012 when I first reviewed this fragrance. This was the first fragrance to ever receive a perfect score. And I used to have a full bottle. I moved that fragrance on because, you know, I don't mind having rotation in my collection. But Clive Christian C for Men is the first one up in this list. And they actually sent me and a bunch of other reviewers these discovery kit. I've reviewed a couple of fragrances from them. And the one I'm going to be talking about, if you're familiar with my channel, if you've been with me through the years, this is not going to come as a surprise to you. This is C for Men. I've always called it C for Men, but it's part of the private collection and is known as C Woody Leather. And for me, this was, I'm going to do a little spray. Wow, yeah, for me this was just absolutely beautiful. It was a really nice alternative to Tom Ford's Tuscan Leather, but I feel a greatly improved version. There is leather in here, there's smokiness, there's oud, a touch of it, saffron, there's frankincense, there's an earthy vibe to this. I think there's a lot of depth. And this one was one of the first fragrances that really opened my eyes to how complex and how different fragrances can be. Certainly comes at a high price, and Clive Christian have been increasing their prices a lot recently, so maybe it's out of my reach, but for now I've got this 7.5 ml travel atomizer. And yeah, as I said, I reviewed that fragrance a long time ago, so for me it's good to know that this fragrance is still what it was, or still how I remember it, and I still rate it a 10 out of 10. Going on to fragrance number 2, which is a fragrance from the brand Parfums Damali. This is the only Parfums Damali fragrance I have, and I think for me, based on all of them that I've tried, this is the best one, and this one is Herod. Herod for me is great because of just, it has the right balance of notes that I really like. A sweet tobacco, a honey note in there as well. There's a dryness and a sweetness. There's an earthiness also combined with the sweetness that I really like. And I really wear this a lot around Christmas time. This is typically, well, for the past I think 2 years has been my Christmas Day fragrance. And let's do a little spray. I haven't got much left actually. This room is going to smell amazing by the end of this video. Ambery sweetness, dried tobacco, pipe tobacco, slightly sweet. This is absolutely brilliant. I think, you know, as far as ingredients go, I think other brands do use better quality ingredients than Parfums Damali, but I think they've got the blend just right here. It's absolutely brilliant. 10 out of 10 for sure. Number 2 on the list. Going on to fragrance number 3 is quite a change from the first 2, which were more heavier fragrances. This is completely on the other side of the spectrum, and a fragrance that honestly took me by surprise. It's from Hermes, from their Jardin series, and this one is called Un Jardin sur le Toit. As you can see, the kind of the green sort of gradient really sums up this fragrance really well. For me, this was a fragrance that, from a conceptual point of view, is absolutely brilliant. It is supposed to replicate or be inspired by the scent of the garden on the rooftop of Hermes's oh, I've forgotten the address now, but I think it's their headquarters in Rue Faubourg or somewhere in Paris, somewhere along those lines. For me, this is grassy, sweet grassy, crisp pear notes in there, apple notes. There's a touch of floralness. There's a kind of a smoothness to this fragrance that I really, really enjoy. Great in springtime weather, when the weather is warm, when your body is warm, and you just want something uplifting and light. This was absolutely brilliant. This Jardin series is definitely worth checking out. I think a lot of the fragrances in the Jardin series, you know, they do kind of feel like they're all cut from the same cloth, but this one for me was my favorite. I don't feel like I need to have loads from them or the whole line. I think one is just good. Find the one that you love. For me, Un Jardin sur le toit, a garden on the roof, was my pick, and a 10 out of 10 for me. Going on to fragrance number 4, and this is a fragrance that I've recently reviewed, so if you haven't watched it, I will leave the link down below. It's from the brand Roja Parfums, and it's his Oud fragrance, which is just called Oud, and it was part of the original 3 that got released along with Amber Oud and Musk Oud. Now, I don't have a full bottle of this, but I recently rediscovered this travel atomizer that I've had for a very, very long time, and wow, I'm so glad I rediscovered this one. This is quite possibly one of the most luxurious fragrances I've ever tried, and I think the quality of the ingredients are, for me, really, really high. It's a rose-based fragrance, actually, for me, and I think Oud is just one part of the composition. It doesn't even take center stage. It is sweet, ambery, it's warming, it's slightly furry as well. Very, very long lasting, very exotic smelling, fruity, kind of like a dried fruit accord. Honestly, this fragrance is excellent. Typically nowadays, I'm not somebody who spends huge amounts of money if we're talking about a cost per ml basis, but this could be one of those that I bend the rules slightly for. We'll see. I've still got a little bit left. You can see the dark juice there. There is also a crystal parfum version if you don't want to stain your clothes. But I kind of like this color, actually. I kind of like it. You know, on skin it's okay. But yeah, anyway. Okay, so the first 4 fragrances, I've reviewed them all. You can check out my reviews. You can check out my thoughts. You can go back and have a look at what I said in those reviews. But the next fragrance, it's going to be reviewed soon. I already know it's going to be a perfect fragrance. I just haven't got around to reviewing it, but I will do that soon. But so I wanted to include it in this list. It's from the brand Guerlain, and this fragrance is Derby. Well, I typically call it Derby, but I guess since it's French, you would say Derby. And you know, compared to other fragrances I've had in my collection, compared to how long I've had them, this is a fairly recent acquisition, and I have put quite a big dent into this one, which should tell you how much I love this fragrance. Wow. This is so nice. This is oak mossy, patchouli, a touch of leather in there. Let's do another spray. Come on. And I just feel like, Guerlain, they need to give other people a chance, because when they keep producing fragrances of this quality, it makes it hard for me to want to buy and be interested in other brands, because it's a classy fragrance. There's depth to it. I'm going to save most of my thoughts for the actual review, but Guerlain Derby rounds off this video. 5 fragrances that I think are 10 out of 10. Over to you guys. First of all, what do you think about these? Where would you rate them? If you like them, let me know. If you love them also. If you dislike them, I'm absolutely open to hearing your views. And what are the fragrances that you think are 10 out of 10? Maybe list all of them, or just list like your top 5 or your 5 favorites or whatever. Whatever you have to say, guys, let me know in the comment section. It's always good interacting with everyone. And hit the like button and subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you're interested in this type of content. And check me out on Instagram. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye.